morning, everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to make a presentation here. And I want to dedicate this presentation to Mr. Robert Garrett. And today, I really want to talk about the history we developed a CO₂ unit together with Güntner. First of all, I want to talk about my company. My company name, Nihon Netsugen Systems. Very complicated to pronounce. So we decided to change the name to JEXIS in 2027, January. But my company, my father founded in 1987, and he really get angry to change the company name. Still, conflict between my father and I is continuing. But anyway, name change is ongoing. My company head office is located in the center of Tokyo, Yotsuya, and our main factory is located in Shiga. It's quite close to Kyoto, and the number of employees is 150. And we are a typical rack builder, but in Japan, rack builder business is not so common. And our system is a little bit different from the appearance is different from rack in Europe or here. But anyway, we are doing a business in Japan. I want to talk about the history together with Güntner. We start to buy a Güntner product since 2000. And during the first stage, we are just buying a product. But in 2014, I went to the head office of Güntner in Munich, and many very important things happened to me. Robert Garrett invited his office, but it was at that time, it was the first time to see him. I never see such kind of high-position person of Güntner before. But anyway, he invited me to the office, and he started to talk about the collaboration. He said, honestly, we tried to make a new office in Tokyo with another company. But that project was canceled. So you are second candidate, but is that okay? And I always say yes. Oh, it's okay. But after that, once I go back to the hotel, and I start to be doubt on that. Why we work together with Güntner so closely? But anyway, we had a dinner together with Robert, and at that time, Mr. Patrick Reich also joined the dinner together. And his wife is a Japanese, therefore, now I really understood the situation. But anyway, we started a close cooperation with Güntner since 2014. And next year, Patrick came to Tokyo, and he opened the office in Tokyo. At that time, we have already started the development of CO₂ unit since 2012. But it doesn't go well so much. But after that, Robert really introduced us Swiss consultant company or other consulting company. Then we really developed together for the CO₂ unit. But the development of CO₂ unit was not so easy. Because at that time, CO₂ is just only fit for the cool summer area in the world, like Switzerland or Nordic countries. But recently, Japan is a really hot country, and over 40 Celsius degree temperature going up is quite usual. Therefore, the most important subject is how to overcome this extremely hot summer condition, because CO₂ is a really high pressure material. Therefore, if the temperature goes up to 31 Celsius degree, it's going to be a really transcritical condition, and it's hard to control. But anyway, we have several technical subjects at that time. So how to overcome 40 Celsius degree temperature. But at the same time, I think energy efficiency, operating cost down was also very important. Therefore, CO₂ is quite environmental friendly compared with the HFC, but at the same time, we really believe to achieve energy efficiency is more important for the end user. And third subject was the compact design, because usually people want to replace from old unit to new unit. So footprint of the unit is quite limited. If new unit is bigger than old one, it doesn't make sense. Therefore, we make the unit size compact. And in Japan, number 4 subject is we really stick to air-cooled unit. Because in Japan, we have so many earthquakes, and water disruption happens so often. Not only earthquake, but also typhoon is coming so often. And water disruption happens usually continuing more than 1 month. So it's going to be really serious trouble to end user. Therefore, of course, technically, water cool is easier, but we really stick to air-cooled unit. And number 5, we are an industrial refrigeration company. Therefore, we really stick to the durable specification. And Japan is an island country. Therefore, salt resistance is also a very important subject. First, we target on the supermarket business. We make many prototypes, and we make a testing unit in our factory. It's imitating like a supermarket. And the first unit we buy from Germany, and we really check how CO₂ react or how we can overcome hot summer climate condition. Yeah, and this is a first stage final design. And we also making a design together with the Güntner for the convenience store, like a 7-Eleven or Lawson, smaller size of unit. But finally, the number we sold to supermarket was just only 1. We totally failed. And we really give up. I almost decided to stop the development of CO₂. But after that, one project is coming to us. It's a more industrial application. It's a cold warehouse or logistics center. This is our first project installed to the fish industry cold warehouse. It's a quite CO₂ rack system, like a European system. And we found energy efficiency is much better than we expected. In the calculation, we expected energy down will be 10% or 15%. But this project shows more than 25% down. Then, end users are very much delighted to get that data. And such kind of good rumor spread to the rest of the world, rest of the Japan. But for making as a product, that CO₂ rack system is not so Japanese favorite system. That skeleton, compressor, and valves, and tank, people are very much afraid of that. So in Japanese market, to make the product as a package is very important. So first, we think, I talked with Patrick, if the unit is like a downhill lighter, it will be really nice. Therefore, we made several sketches, like a downhill lighter. So if gas cooler and compressor box match totally good, it looks very nice. Then we worked together with the Surabaya factory. We visited many times, and to finalize the design, how to put in everything, components into the package. Not only gas cooler, the superheater, and how to mount a compressor. So finally, 2017, we make a final product as a super green. And we spent almost 5 years to finalize the product. And the last 2 years, strong support from Güntner was really important to us. Our super green system, temperature range, cooling temperature range is plus 15 to minus 43. And as I told you, we stick to air-cooled system. And now we have many application type of the product. Type C is around 0 Celsius degree. Type F is a typical freezer temperature range, minus 25. And type FF is a freezer for the food industry. And brine chiller, this is really easy to use from the unit. Cool water or cool brine coming out. And recently, margarine industry or ice cream industry really using this CO₂ system. And also brewery, beer company. So this is a picture of a typical type F. Average temperature is minus 25. And we have 4 types of unit, 34 kilowatt to 162 kilowatt. We just set a limitation at 162 kilowatt is just based on the Japanese regulation. But recently, our customer in Southeast Asian countries request bigger unit. So now, we expand to 250 kilowatt for we call F5. So we will launch this bigger unit very soon. And type C is around 0 Celsius degree. And we have 3 types, 38 kilowatt and 124 kilowatt. And maybe many people know about the advantage of a CO₂ system is we can do simultaneously type F and type C with one unit. We can cool down and freezing down. And also, it's switchable. Sometimes end user want to use with a F temperature and switching to C temperature. So flexibility is another advantage. So technically, I will explain in detail. So we are using a CO₂. Therefore, this is really environmental friendly compared with HFC. So ODP and GWP is really fantastic, no doubt for that. But more important point is energy efficiency. 20 to 40% down in Japanese market. So end user can get the benefit, make money from our CO₂ unit. Actually, in Japan, we have many big brand name. So competition is not so easy. But as long as we can achieve a good energy efficiency with this CO2, I think many end users want to use that. So always, we really focusing on the energy efficiency is the most first priority for our product. And second point, we control each compressor by each inverter, one by one. So it costs a lot. For initial cost, it's, usually the last compressor is only controlled by inverter. It's quite common in Europe. But we control all the compressor by one inverter. Then we can control very, very detailed, fit to the climate condition. And also, we have a really big refrigerant tank, CO2 tank, inside of the unit to overcome very hot temperature in summer. And this is a really primitive technique, but it's a last solution. If the temperature really going up to over 35 Celsius degree, we spray the mist water on the gas cooler. But it works very well still. Therefore, our gas cooler specification is a really good durability thing we use. That's a really point. If simply spray the water on the gas cooler, usually in 5 years, fin will be broken by corrosion. But we really using all the specification is a salt resistance. Therefore, I think it works very well. Then, as I told you, we stick to the no water, air-cooled system. Because in Japan, water treatment costs a lot. Japan is also a very humid country. Therefore, clean up water, cooling water tower costs a lot, and it's a heavy work for the end user. Therefore, our system is air-cooled. It's like an air conditioning system for household. And the compact size. Compared with the R22 unit, our unit is 30% down of the size. And our end user, 80% of a project is a replacement from old unit to new one. Therefore, without stopping a cold storage operation, we installed our system. Then, compact size is quite necessary. Sometimes it's quite necessary to lift up by elevator of the factory. Therefore, this compactness is very important. So now I show the real data about compared with R22. This is a warehouse, cold warehouse in Hiroshima. It's not so big one, medium size of the warehouse. But this owner really take a record at the time of R22 unit running. Therefore, we could do a good comparison. And here, there is a data. As a result, in yearly basis, 24% of energy down compared with R22. And this data shows really interesting things. For example, summertime, August, September, still it's lower than R22, but the percentage is quite not so much. So CO2 is still not so good for the hot temperature, but we achieve minus 5.8% down in August, and minus 4.2% down in September. But spring, autumn, and winter, even in Hiroshima, we achieve sometimes almost 40% down of energy. And this correlationship between temperature and energy down is quite clear nationwide in Japan. For example, in Hokkaido, it's a really cool island, North Island. Energy down always go down to 50% yearly basis. And the south of Japan, Kyushu, around 20 to 25% is, so usual. So, still, it's true. Cool summer area, CO2 can achieve better performance. But in such kind of a hot area, still we can achieve 20 to 25% down is a really big amount for the end user. And here I show another real data in Fukuoka. And we installed 10 units, 2018. And I showed what happened at the temperature was almost 40 Celsius degree. Yes. So, 2018, August 21st, I remember, the temperature, ambient temperature, almost up to 39.7. But in this case, ambient temperature really going up, and pressure really fluctuated inside of the unit. But cold room temperature really keep minus 23 Celsius degree. And interesting point here is this F2 type. Maximum energy consumption is 60 kilowatt. But even in this really hot temperature day, energy consumption is 1/3 of the maximum energy consumption, around 20 kilowatt. But in the morning, only 9 o'clock, before 9 o'clock, show the 45 kilowatt energy consumption. So we check why it happened. It's really before starting the water mist spray started. Therefore, it shows water spray on the gas cooler is a very primitive way, but it affects very much. So combination of these technologies is very important to run safety and to achieve energy consumption down in the hot summer countries. So now, still the number is not so fantastic, but the total number is 710 units we installed from Okinawa to Hokkaido, and 24 projects we did. Application is so broad: cold storage, logistics center, freezer for food industry, and brewery, dairy, or chemical industry, or pharmaceutical industry. And recently, margarine and ice cream, because they always combined with European companies' production machinery. They really push change to CO2. Therefore, such kind of CO2 wave is really coming to Japan from such kind of combination with the European machinery. So today, I showed several references in Southeast Asia. Malaysia, we have a really good partner, and he has already promoted CO2, our CO2 unit since 5 years ago. And in this June, I really went around together with him. He really complained in this April in China Ref. You never come to Malaysia, and you have to check the real installation. And I say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't do that. So in this June, anyway, I went there. And he showed me several references. And each project showed the really energy down, also in Malaysia. Malaysia is, as you see, temperature is almost 30 Celsius degree every day or every season. But still, he said, 30% energy down is so usual. And sometimes 40 to 60% energy down achieved. I am really doubt on that because I think all the unit performance was so poor. Therefore, we do a good performance. But anyway, it's really happy to be accepted to such kind of market outside of Japan. This is another project in Malaysia. And he said that this project achieved 60% energy down. And I heard this is one of the biggest logistic company in Malaysia. And they just tested the first project. Then energy down is so fantastic. Therefore, they start to introduce our unit for their projects. And also working in the Philippines. Yeah, here, next presentation, Jan Duszek, he really having a good network in Philippines. Therefore, he introduced us very good customer, and we work together sometimes. Yeah, this is also another project in Philippines. Yeah, so we always work together with the Güntner. Of course, we have a local manufacturer for gas cooler or evaporator, but we really understand Güntner knows about the CO₂ very much. And for the test lab, they tested. So we never have a problem for the capacity, cooling capacity shortage. I really trust on the data sheet of Patrick all the time. We didn't have any problem. And this time, I didn't show anything about the heat recovery system. But now, we really, cooling by CO₂ is no problem at all. Then we go to heat recovery system with CO₂. So heat just wasting from the gas cooler, we take it and heating up the hot water or the humidization dry system of the loading area. So such kind of comprehensive system is well accepted in Japanese market. And we are always really welcome to your visiting to our factory in Shiga. So please, visit us. And this is a request from Patrick, but anyway, last year, we have a Forbes business competition in Japan. And we got a first prize for the business model. Then I became a cover page, front page of the Forbes Japan in this April. And also another media, Asahi newspaper, focusing on me. So anyway, environmental friendly and such kind of a business model, really media focus on us. So we really want to open the market together with you. So thank you very much.